Oh, Echo the Dolphin is kind of the opposite of poppin', but yeah, let's do it. What's going on, guys? What you doing? Hello! Hey, Sully, hey, Trixel! Hey, Aubriel. The jazzy intro. Thanks. Feel like maybe I need some, feel like maybe I need some, like, I don't know, like a playlist to go with that jazzy music, because this music's not quite as jazzy. Right. I thought about working on commission stuff tonight, but I already made the title of the video the city thing, so we're just gonna do the city thing, and I think I'll do commission stuff tomorrow. Because I've got a couple commissions left to finish up, so we're gonna go through those. So I gotta put something in down here. Not sure what yet, but something's gotta go in there. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's just put another little city stall in, I guess. I didn't really want to put more tents, but you're not even really gonna see it that much, but you guys got the ground here. The horizon line. Technically, yeah, you'd see the bottom of that building. A basket of puppies? Always a basket of puppies. Basket of puppies should always be the answer. How's everybody's weekend going? Feeling much better today. I finally got to sleep in and, like, I don't know, like a proper amount of sleeping in, so I feel pretty good. I feel much better than I have in the last couple days. Still a little nasally, but puppies do make everything better. Sleep also makes everything better, though. Ooh. Esports race. That's fun. That sounds fun. Give this guy, like, sleep is good, feeling better is better. Yes. All of the above, yes. Let's go with a much smaller brush. Pick like a pouch up here. Right. I think that's probably good, to be honest. I don't want to go too crazy. Box back here. Top of this box, and that should be good, I think. I'm happy with it. One of these layers has... That one has people on it. Hey, Flugly! Yes, it is. Time for Strem. Always time for Strem. Except for when it's not time. Hey! I have some top quality commentary for you tonight, which is me quiet while I am working. Echoing. Then. Just the torso on that guy, just a little bit. What do you mean by your sound is behind by a couple of seconds? Do you mean like it takes me a couple seconds to reply to anything you write, or are you hearing like an audio distortion of some kind? I feel like I'm getting people's typed responses before you even ask the question. I think that's just the stream lag, to be honest. That sounds pretty normal. But maybe it's not. Let's pop this guy in. Folder. I get that quite a bit. In Twitch chat. I don't know, to be honest. I'm feeling much better today. I got to sleep in a little bit, and yeah, refresh and see if it's any better. And let me know, because I can certainly fiddle with it if something seems weird. But yeah, I feel much better today. I slept until like 11 o'clock, so my entire day was good. But did I get Surfing Pikachu today? No, I did not. I didn't really get a chance to go out. Was that today only? I'm gonna assume that it was. Okay, that's what I thought. I don't know, like, I feel better, but I didn't feel well enough to go out, so... I went out for about 4 whole seconds to, get Dairy Queen, and then came home. I just didn't feel like cooking again, so didn't. And also, I was playing Guild Wars a little bit today, and, I was playing Guild Wars for a little while today, and I just lost track of time, so suddenly it was 7 o'clock, and I just was like, meh. No. Oh, it was only for 3 hours specifically? That's late. Okay, well then no, I did not get Surfing Pikachu. Nor will I be able to get Surfing Pikachu. I'm not like mad about it, just saying. Up. Oh, I did, Nope. Oh yeah, dude just showing up at your house is pretty good. I was busy trying to catch up on the Animal Crossing event, actually, because that event ends today, so I spent most of the morning just farming butterflies and garden things, because I totally forgot about the event while I was sick. Oh yes, Pokemon Go, yeah. They just added a shiny indicator to Pokemon Go? What does that mean? Why does the Pokemon show up as shiny on the map already? That's so stupid. Wait, so if I were to open up my app right now, and there was a shiny Pikachu outside my house, there would be an orange Pikachu instead of a yellow Pikachu that you then click on and see if it's orange? That's so lame. I don't know if I'm upset about it or not, though. I don't know, like... I guess that's kind of how it is in the regular games, too. I don't know. Seems like a strange, sudden change of the way the game works, I guess. But there's this little part of me that wants to say that doesn't make any sense because it's not like that in the regular games, and they have kept pretty true to the regular games in most cases, but like at the same time, that's probably how it would work if they could make it work that way. So I guess it's fine. Interesting. I just wish they would release more shiny Pokemon. I mean, I have the only one I really wanted, but, like, the shiny Snorunt looks pretty cool. I don't know if anybody else plays Pokemon and that cares at all. Yeah. I don't know. I got the Duskull, and that was all I really wanted. Oh, I mean of the ones that are in the game right now. Yeah, absolutely. If they release all the shiny Pokemon and shiny Quagsire becomes a thing, I will absolutely catch every Wooper I see for the rest of my life until I get one. But, I mean as far as the ones that are in the game at this exact moment. Because right now the only Pokemon in Pokemon Go that can be shiny are Magikarp, Duskull, Pikachu, Sableye, Shuppet, Absol, Mawile, and Snorunt, I think. I don't think I missed any. But, yeah, so if they added Quagsire, I'd be so in, but no, they can't be shiny in Pokemon Go yet. used to play Go, but I got really bored with it when I wasn't on campus anymore. Yeah. I get pretty bored with it when I don't have people to play with. The Pokemon Go community in St. Louis is huge, so if I ever want to go out raiding, all I have to do is go on Facebook and go on the Facebook group and just be like, hey, you wanna do a thing? And most people are like, heck yeah, I want to do a thing. It's mostly dark and ghost type. Well, it's mostly ghost types because during the Halloween event, they had a Halloween event, in October, and it was like the first time they were releasing Gen 3 Pokemon. I feel like I'm missing a Gen 2 there somewhere too. But they released the main ghost type Pokemon of Gen 3, early, and it was kind of them testing, I think, Gen out a little bit. But, yeah, so they put in those 3 Pokemon in particular, and I don't know why they chose to also make them shiny, but it started out being only Sableye could be shiny, and so that was kind of like the special one, but then they added Duskull and Shuppet, like, later on in the event, which was actually kind of stupid the way they did it, because Sableye had the possibility of being shiny for the entire month of the event, but Duskull only got half the event, and Shuppet's shiny got released, like, the last week of the event. So there's not as many shiny Shuppets out there. Yes, it is. It is. Is it Einhander? Is that how you pronounce that? But yes, that is what it is. So that's why it's mostly ghost types, because they released all the ghost types from the event, but I imagine that that will not stay that way. I don't know why they chose Absol and, I don't know why they chose Absol and Mawile. I thought those were very odd decisions for shinies for that generation. They're not even really interesting shinies. Mawile turns slightly more pink than usual, and Absol turns red, so, like, at least Absol was kind of interesting, because, like, its whole horn thing changes color, but I don't know. I just thought that was a very strange choice on their part, I guess. So far, honestly, the shinies have been really... They released the Magikarp first, because that's, like, the classic shiny Pokemon. Red Gyarados. Classic. And then they released Pikachu that hardly looks different from a regular Pikachu, and they released Sableye, which is gold also, so another gold Pokemon. Duskull, who is red, so that was a big change, but then Shuppet hardly looks different. Absol hardly looks different. I don't know, it was just an odd, I guess. My mic occasionally cuts out. That's fun. Hang on. Right. Let me turn my decibels back up a little bit, because I think that got knocked down at some point. Whoop. I don't think so. Alright, well now you're getting some fun background sound from something. Don't know what that is. It looks like I did have some filters on of some kind, but I literally haven't changed anything at all. I haven't changed anything about my setup whatsoever, since, like, last week's stream. I don't know why. I noticed, Discord particularly was being kind of derpy. I'm gonna move the microphone a little closer to me. We'll see if that helps. But, yeah, I don't know. Discord particularly was being derpy yesterday, because every now and then Discord would, like, hang up. Like, as in, like, it would lag out really bad, and then, everybody would turn into a robot for like 4 seconds, and then it would go away. I don't know. I fiddled with a couple settings. We'll see if that's better. But let me know if it still cuts me off towards the end, because I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't changed anything. I haven't touched my settings at all. So it might have something to do with the placement of the microphone. I might not have it as close to my face or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, Trixel. They were released for an event, I think. What, Absol and Ballwile? I don't know. I guess my thought on that was that, like, I don't understand why they picked those two in particular for whatever the event was, you know? Just all the shinies? Magikarp was released probably during an event. I don't actually remember how Magikarp came into it, but the ghosts were released during an event. Were Absol and Mawile released during an event? Because I think they were released just for, I thought they were just released as raid bosses. Oh, were they released during the water event? Oh, I didn't know that, actually. Yes, let's release a Steel Fairy and a Dark-type Pokemon during the water event. Good plan. Oh, you were talking about the Magikarp. Right. Sorry, I got really confused for a second. I was like, why would they release that during... Magikarp was during the water event. Herp. Herp-a-derp. Derp. Yeah, Magikarp was during the water event, you are correct. And I actually did not catch my Magikarp during that event. I caught my shiny Magikarp at a, park up near me when it was a Magikarp nest. My coworker and I went up to play that day, and we were driving up in, because it's a park you can drive through, so we were driving, like, you know, coasting through, basically, catching as much shit as we could, and both of us got our shinies at the park that day. So that was pretty cool, I would say. The other two were released when 3rd Gen was released, which was sort of an event on its own. Yeah, that's true. You know what I think would be really cool? I think it'd be really cool if they released a whole bunch of, I'm not saying this because Quagsire's pink, by the way, but I think it would be really cool if they released a bunch of pink shiny-type Pokemon. Pink shiny-type Pokemon, yes, pink shiny Pokemon variants, during, like, the next, Valentine's Day event. Because I know the Valentine's Day event last year was all like, oh, lots of pink Pokemon will now be available, but, like, what if there were pink shinies? And then that would potentially mean that Wooper and Quagsire could be a thing, you know? But... so it's partially for that reason, but also partially not for that reason. Just because I think that would be cool, because there's so many pink shiny Pokemon that have lots to choose from, so a lot of Pokemon could get variants if they did an event like that. Yeah, Sneasel, there you go. Shiny Sneasel could be released. I'm sure Tested would love that. Also, Tested's not here, but shout out to Tested. Tested helped me get, slash Apple Gravy, helped me get the other two, well, get 2 of the other mounts in, is Murkrow pink too? Oh, that's right, he is. Helped me get the other 2 mounts in Guild Wars, and, I had a train of thought there that left me. He helped me get the 2 of the mounts in, oh, shout out to Tested, because he got me, some mount adoption, like, blind box type deals on Guild Wars, and I got the mount skin I wanted from, like, the 3rd box. So, shout out to him for buying me things. And just being a cool dude. Gifts are appreciated, but not expected. Disclaimer. So that was fun. I needed help, though, so. Pink shinies are nearly half of all shinies, and the other half are green. They're not even good greens, either. Like, green's my favorite color, and, like, most of the green shinies aren't even... You know what green shiny I do really like, though? I really like green, Teddy Ursa. I don't really care that much about Ursaring, particularly, but I don't know. Shiny Teddy Ursa is actually pretty cute. It's like a cute, like, lime color. I don't know. Yeah, he's like such a nice, like, pleasant, like, light green color. This picture's gross, but the actual, like, in-game one, I don't know. He's like a nice, like, gentle green. Oh, he is purple. Look how beautiful he is. Look at this ugly motherfucker. He's so great. I love him. Look at that. Look at this fabulous monstrosity. So pink. Oh, there you go. Objection! Beautiful. See, now I like the progression of the shiny Wooper, because look what a pleasant color he is now. Like, if you go and look at the old versions of this, they're slightly darker. First of all, fuck off. Advertisement. Fuck off. I guess they were always a little bit lighter. I don't remember Wooper being this, like, peachy color before. I thought he was, like, always this color. This, like, bright, like, haunch crow color pink. But I guess not. I don't know. He looks, like, super precious as a 3D model, though. Fabulous. This weird flesh-colored Wooper, yeah. I don't know. He's like the perfect, like, axolotl color when he's like that. Speaking of perfect axolotls, Steve is not. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, regular haunch crow is better for sure. Just for meming purposes. Meme colors, you know. Yeah, Steve was being a little butt today. Steve is still not interested in eating, so... instead of actually eating the worm I gave him, he instead pushed it around the tank with his nose, and I finally had to take it away from him because he was playing with it. Master Hunter, he is not. So Steve has not eaten for a whole day now. 2 whole days now. Which is probably fine because he had 3 worms last week, so... Or, last weekend. He seemed, like, vaguely interested in it because it was moving, but otherwise he didn't seem like he cared really at all. Oh, jeez. I'll try again tomorrow. I'm just gonna keep trying till he eats something, but if he doesn't want to eat it, he doesn't have to eat it, you know? What I'm saying? Yo, so, 2 things I'm real excited about that are coming in the mail this week. First of all, my... Sideshow Toys Toothless shipped today, and I'm real fucking excited about that. I don't know when that's gonna get here, but I am so hype. And I'm gonna take all the pictures for you guys when it finally gets here, because it's like the nicest, like, priciest collectible I've ever purchased for myself. And I'm real happy about it. Second thing, though, that I am slightly... Here, let me show you the... this guy. Wait, just... It's just such a gorgeous statue. I purchased it. I don't think I dropped several $100s on something as fast as I did on this. Like, most of the time, if I'm gonna spend more than, like, $100 on something, I think about it for a second. This, I was like, $250? Done. Out. Goodbye. Goodbye, money. Emptied my wallet just immediately. I've had the money saved up for this since forever. It is... Find out. 12 inches. So it's a foot tall. I don't know what, I don't know what scale it is, but... There it is next to an apple, so... Yeah, it's a super... I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but... on it, so... My roommate in college had a, had one of these of, Loki from the Avengers, and it was a really nice, like, figure. So, when I saw this, I bought it. Okay. You got a set of Rowlet and Pikachu pen pencil things and a Crab Brawler figure. That's awesome. Well, here, so I'll show you guys. Other thing I'm... And by kind of excited, I mean that I am very confused, and I am not sure what to do with this information. So, anybody who has followed me for any sizable amount of time may have heard me talking about my, Portal figure collection. Yeah, let's see if they even have it still. Yeah. So, I collected these figures, and I had all of them. But I was looking for the Hawaiian shirt, as I do sometimes, and I saw this. And... I have absolutely no idea what this figure is. And based on the picture, it sort of looks hand-painted, but I never want to ever be in a situation where I regret buying one of these figures ever again, so I bought it. And it comes in the mail on Monday, I believe, so we will see if this is a legitimate figure, if it's real. But I'm very confused. Because I have never heard of a tribal print turret before. So, I have no idea what this is. This kind of came out of left field a little bit as far as this collection of figures goes. So I will keep you guys posted on that. That comes tomorrow, or, yeah, that comes in Monday. So, shall see. Because every now and then I tool around on, like, YouTube, or, on eBay or something. And just, hey, stop sign, what's going on? Every now and then I tool around on eBay looking for the Hawaiian shirt one, just in case it crops up again. And I happened to find that on Google and was like, fuck? Because Toy Wiz is like, I'm pretty sure that Toy Wiz is a legitimate, like, company. You know? I've purchased boxes of the Neko, I've purchased boxes of the Neko figures, before from Toy Wiz, so, like, I think they're, like, a company. I don't think they're, like, a private seller. I've never seen handmade stuff on Toy Wiz before, so I'm interested to see if that figure or not. Let me see. Oh, those are cool. They're very colorful. Stop sign, you were earlier than you were yesterday. Does that make... is that good? I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm glad you're here. How big is the document? Shit. Why is this document so small? This document was like 7,000 pixels before. It's too small. Hang on. Oh, so it's 72. I sized it down to upload it yesterday and never fixed it. Well, alright, rip me. We're gonna have to redo all that work. Let's try to not redo it. Convert that to a smart object. See if we can preserve the pixels, because this needs to be 3. Okay. I wondered why my brush needed to be so... Ugh! Ruined it! Rip the first half of this stream. DPI, you screw me. Always. DPI always ruins my life. Yeah, because that's what the quality of the lines should look like, and it does not look like that. Fuck. Ah, it's my own fault. I wasn't paying attention. That's okay. We'll just go over the black lines I already have. No worries. I really should have checked it before, because at the beginning of the stream, as I was grabbing my brush size, I went, I wonder why I'm using a 7-point brush right now. Like, I was kind of thinking about it a little bit. I was like, it's really weird that I'm using a 7-point brush on a document that's, and it's like the thick line size for a document that's 7,000 pixels. Just seems weird. But I didn't think to check it, you know, I wasn't like, well, rip. Oh, that's okay. I posted it. I do that all the time. That's like a real problem that I have. I do that literally all the time. Don't even worry about it. I'm mostly just stupid, so... I'm a fool of a took. Luckily that didn't take me super long, and now I can just go quick. And, and stop sign, I'm good. It's going good. Minus this small hiccup, you know, I'm doing good. Texas is coming along. Bird Texas. Yeah, so we were referring to this as Bird Texas because I figured, like, the Jedoan military is more like a defend the flock kind of thing, so if, like, you fuck with one Jedoa, you fucked with all the Jedoa, and that, like, if you show up in the middle of their town and you're like, alright, this is, like, a, you know, fuck the Jedoa, you know, I'm gonna blow up your city, and all the Jedoa will just pull out their guns. I am a dumb artsy. I am. It's okay. Hey. Made my mascot an axolotl for a reason. Cute, but not very smart. Texas birds? Texas birds. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so if, like, a Veos or something showed up in the town and was, like, you know, walks up to, like, a vendor and is like, give me all your stuff or I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And then, like, all the Jedoa in the immediate vicinity would just take out their weapons and come after that Veos, and you would just get swarmed by Jedoa. Because Jedoa don't give a shit. They will beat the shit out of you if you threaten anyone in their family, you know? It is exactly like in Zelda when you would attack a cuckoo. It is 100% that, and I absolutely did not mean for that to be a thing, but it is now. Stop sign, you remember how you said I should draw that? I now know what I want to draw. You know what, I'm really drawing now. That's too much work. That's, like, a lot of drawing. I was gonna say, I want to draw, like, Link being like, oh shit, and then just a whole bunch of Jedoa standing behind him, like, about to murder him. You know, with, like, the shiny anime eyes where it's like, shing! And their eyes turn into, like, laser beams. Oh my god, 100% one of them has to look like, you know? 100%. I was gonna draw it, but I kinda don't feel like it. If anybody else wants to draw it, though, I would 100% appreciate fan art. Secretly, that's the goal of this entire channel, is to get enough of you guys to like my stuff so that I won't have to draw my own art, because... I'm also 100% kidding about that. I just think about all the times that, like, I watch a YouTuber and they're like, oh my god, you know, like the one YouTuber I watch, every now and then he's like, oh my gosh, that would be so funny. People who do fan art, do it, make it happen. Like, I'm gonna get you guys to do that one of these days. One of these days it's gonna be like, make it happen. And then you will. Seriously, someone do it, though. I would love you forever if you did it. I don't think I could do it without looking it up, because, like, I can picture in my head what that, like, anime shiny angry eye thing looks like, but... Do what? Not for profit, just have fun. Dire Crow pointed out to me that the Jedoa military style is essentially the cuckoos from Legend of Zelda. Because they are. And I definitely did not make that connection until you said it, but they 100% are. Because if you fuck with one Jedoa, you have fucked with all of them, and they will come for your life. Working on this poll again. And then I had this, like, pictured in my head of Link being like, oh shit, and, like, a bunch of Jedoa standing behind him, like, you know, laser beams for eyes. But I don't feel like drawing it, so. Why is your mouth on fire? Are you okay? Did you eat something spicy? I have embraced the garbage lifestyle today. I had ramen for lunch, and I had Dairy Queen for dinner. And at some point, I will feel like cooking again, and I will go back to eating real food, but for right now, that was a great choice. Yeah, exactly, like the mob. You have to bust your kneecaps? Jedoa would totally bust her own. Ginger brew, non-alcoholic, but it's a combo of sushi, ginger, and whiskey. Oh. Never heard of either of those things. I mean, I know what whiskey is. I mean, I never heard of sushi ginger. Is that like the root ginger, and you like mix it in with your whiskey, or is that like a type of alcoholic beverage? Or is it a? I don't know what ginger brew is. I'm very confused. I don't know anything about alcohol. Scary socialism. Oh yeah. Edible shaved ginger root. Interesting. I know ginger's pretty like spice. You not? Oh, it's just super strong ginger ale. Interesting. You're drinking it? Why? Oh, that's right. You said it was non-alcoholic. Yep, they're just the mafia now, apparently. Jedoa are now the mafia. I'm not sure how that happened. I'm not even sure if that's accurate, but it happened, and now it's a thing. So in case anybody's curious, because I'm just drawing this again for the second time, but the lines on this particular piece are so thick because they're at the foreground. Everything behind this is going to have much thinner line art. This is at the front, so. Because you're a masochist? Hey, you know, that, fair enough. I don't really like alcohol that much, to be honest. I drink it sometimes, but I mostly like fruity stuff without a lot of alcohol in it because it just makes me warm. It doesn't, like, I don't feel drunk, like, the way, like, I don't know. I never, like, I don't feel more sociable or anything. I just get warm. My body just, I feel, like, hot. Like, physically warm. I don't know. Gonna add a couple more ties to the bottom here. Jedoa. I beat the Jedoa. Oh, I bet the Jedoa have low crime. Yeah, they have pretty low crime. A lot of their crime is really specific to their species. Whereas, like, humans, you're gonna get all the generic stuff. You know, murder, theft, arson, whatever. For Jedoa, it's a lot less of that kind of stuff. It happens sometimes, but a lot of the times, like, if somebody steals something, they don't go, oh, well, you're bad, you stole a thing. They go, okay, why did you steal something? And they kind of look at both sides, and even, like, the person who had things stolen for them usually goes, oh, well, I see why you stole now. You stole from me because you needed food. You should have just asked, here, have something. You know, they're very open to that, I guess. But the big thing for them, the one big thing for them is not taking care of the flock. So if you do something like treason is a huge deal for them. If you give away something that puts the Jedoa as a whole in danger, you are like the worst kind of person to them. Because you have done something now that has endangered everyone. So that's a big deal. Murder is obviously a big deal because you have someone, like, if you just murder someone for no reason. Oh, hey, Ernest, what's going on? So, but and actually Mage and I were talking about this the other day, in the world building chat, was that, like, for example, one specific crime for them would be if you are somebody who's in a position of power, so say you're an official, and it's your job to take care of to take care of everyone, but, an event is about to, say you're about to, I don't know, start plans for a new mine. But maybe you don't know enough about this particular geographic location, but you know your neighbor knows a ton about that particular geographic location. In Jedoan society, you should give up your spot in the cabinet, like as an official, to your friend because your friend knows more about that situation than you do. If you don't, and then the Jedoa figure that you are putting everyone at risk by not being 100% qualified for the position, and you're considered a criminal for that. If you do anything to put Jedoa society as a whole at risk, you're considered a criminal. Which is why treason is such a big deal for them. Jedoa are very, group-minded, and it's kind of interesting to work on them a little bit because I have to keep reminding myself that although it wouldn't make sense for humans. That kind of society doesn't make any sense for humans. Humans are kind of selfish like that. Humans like to help each other out, but in the end, you gotta look out for yourself as a human, in real life. But for Jedoa, who has been raised their entire life to believe that the culture, the entire society is your family and you should take care of everyone, that makes perfect sense for them. For them, it's like, oh yeah, why would you not help your neighbor who needs food? Or why would you not let somebody who's more experienced take charge, kind of thing. Oh, yay, Arenas! Yes, art, do all the art. Let your art flow. Do the thing. Is there crime more organized into mafias? To be honest, I don't really know much about why the mafia I could probably speculate on some reasons why, but, like, I don't know the exact reason that things like the mafia even rose into existence in the first place, so I don't know if Jedoa would have something like the mafia. For real, like, maybe in, like, other people's cultures, like, maybe there's Jedoan mafias in, like, human society, but not, I don't know necessarily one way or the other for in their own society, if that makes sense. I'm not opposed to the idea, I just don't know enough about it, I guess. If anybody here knows anything about the mafia, let me know, because organized crime is a thing I never really thought about. You were memeing that thing about the mafia? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, totally. I figured you were joking, I was just wondering, like, if it was, like, even something that would happen to them. Stop sign asked about it, too, so I was wondering. Let's hit that save button before I fuck this up again. Spinning wheel of death. My computer does not appreciate this document being as big as it is. But it needs to be this big for me to exist, so. Mafia happened because alcohol was illegal and people needed to make and sell beer. That makes sense. Everyone wants to know how the Jedoa kill one another. It's a very important topic of discussion. I was cracking up today playing Guild Wars because I was thinking about all the different cultures that are in Guild Wars and whatever, and it's kind of funny that I'm playing a Char doing the main quest of Path of Fire, because Path of Fire is all about killing a god, and like, or that's at least what from what I've gotten to so far, it's all of the characters trying to find Balthazar and kill him, and like, it's funny because I'm playing a Char who doesn't give a shit about gods because that's just how they are. So my Char is probably just like, yeah, okay, well, do you know where to find this guy who thinks he's a god so I can punch him in the face? What is the legal drinking age for Jedoa? Question. They drink at all? Hadn't really thought about it. I imagine they probably would. They're considered, and I'm gonna look it up because at the ages of my own creatures, I gave arbitrary numbers to everything, and that kind of fucked me over. They're considered adults at, like, they're considered adults, I believe, at about probably around 16 years old. They don't live quite as long as humans. They live a little bit shorter amount of time, so probably by the time they're, like, sexually mature. I mean, I know humans are, like, technically sexually mature at, like, their early teens, because, you know, periods and junk, but I don't know. Probably 16 for them, I guess. Cactus juice? Yes. Done. That's what it is now. It's now cactus juice. I would love that, yes. I think all the races other than humans are 100% okay with Balthazar being dead. I think humans are anyway. That's my very basic understanding while I'm staring at a barrel full of fruit in Photoshop, so... They certainly could not, but Jedoa like to, like, kind of, like... I hesitate to use the word party, because I don't want to make it sound like they, you know, buy a keg of beer and go to a friend's house and rave all night, you know, because they don't, but, like, they have big festivals and stuff, and there's a lot of food and whatnot, so I imagine that I imagine they would probably drink. Actually, for me, what would be really funny, though, on the flip side, would be if they don't drink at all, and then the humans introduce them to the concept of drinking. That would be really funny. Because it would be like, you know, when you give your little, you know, your little cousin or something their first sip of beer or whatever, and they're like, oh my god, this tastes disgusting, and it would be like that with the Jedoa, I bet. Jedoa didn't really even understand cooking before humans came, or whatever species contact with them first. I have not really decided yet, but the history of my world makes no sense at the moment, because there is no history, so... Oh, that's right, yeah, alcohol is severely poisonous to birds. Maybe it's kind of like a cactus juice kind of thing, and it's more like a hallucinogenic sort of deal, and that's really the only kind of alcohol they can drink. Quote unquote. Kaz saw Balthazar for the first time, she started praying to him. Well, I haven't gotten that far in the story. I just got the raptor mount, so... And then Tested ran me through some areas to collect mastery points so that I could also run to the areas to get the mana ray. But I haven't actually done more of the story than that. Like, I just got to the first area for that. Oh, is that in the living story beforehand? Interesting. Well, that I didn't do either, but somebody kind of gave me the, Oh, it's okay, stop sign. You go get some sleep, man. Talk to you later. Why do you drink this stuff? Yeah, exactly. Is caffeine bad too? Well, maybe that's what it is. Some of their stuff is based off real birds, and a lot of it is because it was easy. It gave me something like something to adapt. Like the reason I gave them the system of government I did is partially because I couldn't commit to anything. Like, I just didn't think, like, a president or a king or a, you know, whatever. I couldn't pick anything that really fit them. And, that's why I came up with the version I did, and then the version of their government that I did, and then later on I found out that, like, wild birds kind of do that a little bit. Like, they have a very fluid hierarchy. So, you know, in a flock of birds in real life, whoever is the leader that everyone's following changes based on who's the more experienced bird in the flock. If they're going somewhere that nobody except for, like, 3 birds have been, then those 3 birds are in charge. And, so I thought, well, that would work then. That would give me kind of something to base my idea off of. But it's not necessarily that they are 100% based off real birds, you know? So if I really wanted to give a reason, like, why they are okay drinking alcohol, I totally could. But I had never really decided, I guess. I'd have to think about it, I suppose. No, do I really want to deal with that or not? I can think of reasons for both. Because on the one hand, you know, maybe that's a racial quirk, is that they can't drink alcohol. You know, because it's bad for them. Like you said, caffeine and alcohol, they just can't drink it or eat it. There's, you know, they can't do that kind of stuff because it's not good for their bodies. On the other hand, it would kind of fit their festival kind of celebratory lifestyle for them to have access to things like alcohol. But that's also based on me being a modern American where every party has alcohol, you know? So I don't know. Some cacti produce their own alcohol. If you drink it before clarifying it, it's super potent. Interesting. Cactus juice was not a total lie. Jedoa do eat a lot of cactuses. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate your input on it, though. And it's a good question. Nobody asked me that question before. That's been half the fun of working on this stuff with you guys around, is that you always think of questions I never thought about. Like, the other night, Stop Sign asked me about plumbing and, like, hygiene, and I never really thought about that kind of stuff, because it was never something that ever seemed like it would ever be important. And I never really put much more thought into it than that, but it was an interesting question nonetheless. Like, I appreciated the question even if I didn't have an answer for it and didn't think about it further, if that makes sense. Okay. Alright. That took me the same amount of time the first one did, and now we're back on track. Let me take my sweatshirt off and we will continue. Okay. Hooray! We're caught up. Back to where we started. And then as soon as this is done saving, we will continue. Okay. Technically this is not the foreground. So I think I'm gonna make the brush a I'll put it on the foreground layer anyway. So have you guys been working on anything lately or playing any interesting games? I know not everybody here is a creator, but you know, certainly you've been doing something creative, like a game of some kind. Or an art piece, or a piece of writing, you know, what have you guys been up to? I got everything I wanted in Guild Wars at the moment, so I am ready to continue that excursion Got my mana ray mount, so I am pleased. Doing that thing I hate. Keep moving. Creative pen has been disconnected from my brain recently. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get tired and you just don't feel like working on anything. Participated in a competition earlier and then caught up on some Let's Play videos and did a little bit of work on the playlist. Ah, exciting. You've been working on a lot of stuff today. I was watching Trixel stream a little while, a couple hours ago. That was fun. If you guys have not had the pleasure of going to one of Trixel's streams, you should totally do yourself a favor and go do that, because try it. So fun. I was working on some other stuff, so I wasn't participating in chat all that much, but thought it was funny listening to him. So if you haven't visited Trixel's stream, you are missing out, my friend. Oh, the skimmers are great. I love the skimmers. So happy about them existing. In case you were curious about that, what that layer was, I saw a piece that I liked the composition of, and it looked very similar to this one, so I grabbed it and just chucked it in here to see if I was on the right track as far as, like, sizing was with the characters. I have a really hard time scaling things, and so I always end up drawing characters, like, too big or too small, so I chucked that in there to see how, like, that person had, like, how big they'd made their characters compared to the buildings, and I kind of just stretched their composition to fit mine. So, in case you were curious about that. That's, something I do every now and then, especially if I happen across a piece of artwork that makes me think of something I'm working on currently, or if I find something I'm struggling with. You know, just referencing somebody else's artwork is not a bad thing, so pro tip for you all. If you're missing if you think you're struggling with something, grab another piece of artwork, find something that's close, you know, even if it's not like the same angle and everything, like something with a similar look, and just cross-reference. Pictures are better, photographs are better, I think, because there's less interpretation. You get a more true look, but it never hurts just to double check. Window, this little door out of the way. So I think this is going to be the first layer. I think this first layer is just going to be all the foreground stuff. And then, we'll move on from there. Helped a friend brainstorm a commission. Cool. What are they getting a commission for? Is it for them or for you? Hope that's not a weird question to ask, but... You know, are they an artist that you were brainstorming an idea to get something from them, or... down like that. Oh, okay. Very cool. I was trying to get I was trying to get caught up on Steven Universe earlier, because I didn't realize how much stuff had happened that I missed, but I missed a lot of stuff from December. Forgot how awkwardly paced that show is. I keep forgetting that it's really technically for younger kids, because it's so... Some of the themes are really mature, and so I keep forgetting that it's technically for younger people, because the episodes are so fucking short. And just everything's really weirdly timed. I don't know if anybody else watches Steven Universe and feels that way also. I like the characters so much that it doesn't ruin it for me. It just... I wish it was for a little bit older audience, or had slightly longer episodes with less crammed into them. Yeah, I don't know. It's really good, and I really like the show, but it just... I really hate the release schedule. The release schedule makes me unhappy. Yes, exactly. The ends of the episodes are really abrupt. The pacing sometimes is really good at the beginning, but the endings are so abrupt. I like when they release a big chunk of, like, when they did the arc, Blue Diamond. I liked that arc because they, because it felt like one long episode spread out over 30 minutes, and that was really nice. It felt like it was paced well. I don't know, some of the episodes are awkward. Yeah, they feel like they're like a fraction of a whole episode, like they trimmed out a bunch of stuff to fit a certain time slot, which I think they probably do. I want to like the show so bad, and I like the characters a lot. It's so awkward. And I really don't like their upload schedule. I don't know. The way they upload in little spurts like that, I forget about the show sometimes. I mean, I totally forgot that it even existed until somebody was like, "Oh yeah," and then I saw art of Pink Diamond on Tumblr, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cute piece of art, whatever." And then like a couple hours later, I saw a different artist with the exact same character, and I thought, it's weird that I saw two pieces of fan art on the same day that looked exactly the same. So then I went and looked it up, and it's the official character art for that character. So then I was like, well, that means that there's, you know, been an episode that I missed, and it just... Is it really? It seems like a really strange way to run your shows. Cartoon Network has a weird release schedule. But, like, I totally forgot Steven Universe existed. Until I saw the Pink Diamond art, and then I was like, well, I guess I better go watch those. Because the last thing I had seen before I saw that art was, Lars's head, I believe, was the last one I saw, and then it stopped and disappeared forever. Most people don't realize the episodes are even out of order. Yeah, when they watch the reruns, sometimes it's hard to tell. Steven Universe. Awkward. Great, but not great show. I haven't actually watched Cartoon Network. Probably because I'm an adult, but also, like, even if I'm, like, home, like, holidays or something, if I want to watch a cartoon just for, like, nostalgia purposes, I go to, like, Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon's better. I think that's gonna be layer 1. That's gonna be foreground. I wish I had put something here, but maybe it's okay. Watching the same episodes of a show for months and not caring. Yeah. Oh, me too. Alright. That was the easy. Now for the hard part. Got this. Can't do it. Once it's done saving, that is. I was gonna have this little area behind this guy fade off into white, and then I was like, or I could just make the Jedoa bigger, and then he... It just seems like a really stupid way to... your shows. It must work for them, or else they wouldn't do it. It just seems like a strange way to do it. Like, I personally don't like it that much. I wish they would just do it all at once, but... Or, you know, once a week, or once every 2 weeks, you know? Strange. Although, if you ask the, well, kids like toys and shit, but if you ask the marketing guys at my job, toy industry's dying. Because everybody wants apps. Even kids want apps. Kids, you know, have their own tablets now. A lot of younger kids are not interested in toys as much anymore. I'm pretty sure... I think he said that the only age group for toys that's really in existence anymore is like the 3 to 6 and the 7 to 9. Any kids older than 9, they're already starting to get interested in tablets, and they want to have a tablet. Most kids around 8 or 9 already have tablets. So it's like pretty much up to like 8 or 9 years old, and that's all you have left. The toy industry is pretty much on its way. On the other hand, though, like, the age range that is left is doing very well, you know? They do, and in some things are still very popular. Some kids still want toys, but it's a really specific age range now that want to have toys. I still have stuffies in my house. I have, on top of one of my display cabinets, I just have a whole bunch of Pokemon stuffed animals all piled up. I like Pokemon. I like stuffed animals. It's a win. You know? Yeah, it is sad. There's some, I mean, like I said, there's still some age ranges that are left and that still exist, but it's definitely on its way down. It's headed out. Because kids have electronics now, and nobody wants to have physical toys. Who wants to spend, you know, $60 on a box of figurines when you could, you know, or on an interactive figurine when you could spend, you know, $100? You could spend $40 more for a tablet that has unlimited free apps, you know? It's kind of a no-brainer from a financial standpoint, and since a lot of families don't have a lot of money, it makes a lot of sense. I still have all my toys from when I was a kid. I keep thinking I should get rid of them. As in, like, sell them, you know, or give them away, but I just never got around to it. I did sell a whole box of, I sold a whole box of Neopet stuffed animals on eBay. My sister and I went through all of our stuff. She and I were both kind of hurting for money a couple years ago, so we went through all of our stuff, kind of a little bit of decluttering, because we did have a lot of stuff. And so it was kind of a little bit of like a, let's feel good about our lives and think about what things we want to keep and what things we don't want to keep, you know. It was a little bit of self type of thing. But on the other hand, we were also looking to maybe sell some of the stuff. So we kind of made a pile of, we could sell these things, but let's just donate it. Or like a lot of the Neopet stuffed animals were, these are really nice quality and we barely played with them because we just wanted to have them to collect them. So we could probably sell those on eBay. So we had a little pile of both of, you know, I want to sell this, I want to not sell this, and we ended up going through that process, and I did sell a whole bunch of Neopet stuffed animals on eBay. That was a lot of fun, actually. I enjoyed doing that. But ended up getting hooked on video games pretty early on when I was around 5 or 6, so I don't actually have many consoles. Yep. Hey, that, you know. So you're, you know, among the, that's kind of the mindset of, you know, kids who don't have video games nowadays, or kids who are on video games nowadays, is that kids don't play with toys because they play with video games. It's like the Toy Story 3 movie made all for 18 to 30 generation, not for little kids anymore. Yeah, exactly. Ugh, Neopets. Yes, Neopets. Neopets was my life when I was a kid. I still play it from time to time. Like, my account got frozen a long time ago for something stupid. I don't even remember what I did now, but I got my account frozen doing something stupid. And, you know, I made a new account I don't know why I put those there, because I'm not even gonna see that. You know, I went ahead and, attempted to make that one same length. Ooh, actually, better idea. Same length as the other one, but it's cracked. But, yeah, so I made a new account, and I have a whole bunch of painted pets and stuff, and I'm really excited about it. Honestly. Sister actually got into stocks and marketing on Neopets and decided to go to marketing college because of it. Oh, cool. I got really good at the stock market now that I'm older and understand how the stock market on Neopets works. Because when I was a kid, I didn't have any idea what I was doing. You're good at something, might as well be paid to do it. Absolutely. I would love to work at a place like a Neopets kind of thing. Not specifically Neopets, maybe, but like, you know, I would love to get paid to work on like a pet site like that. You know, design the pets. You know, anytime a world event happens, I'd get to do all the art for it. I think that would be a lot of fun. Heck, maybe it could even be like a Neopets kind of Lore Handle kind of thing. Maybe you get to pick maybe it's like a flash-paced MMO, I don't know. I've always thought about what I wanted to do with Lore Handle when I'm done with it, because I really don't have a plan for it at the moment. Somebody I was following that was doing their own species had started like a visual novel. I don't know if that's something I would be interested in necessarily, but it seemed like it was fun. Well, Flugly, I would 100% agree with you, though. You know, I do get paid to do something I enjoy and something I'm good at, and that's great. And so to anybody else who has an interest or a passion or something they're extra good at, do it. Do that thing as a job. Make a living off of something you're good at. There's no reason to go to work every day and hate what you're doing. You know, there is exactly no reason for that. You can absolutely get a job doing something that you enjoy. Unless the thing you enjoy is being a serial killer. Which, I guess technically you can still have a job doing that, it's just not necessarily illegal. It's not necessarily legal, and somebody will probably try to stop you from doing that. But, you know, thought still stands. Some of those pet sites let you get custom skins, I think. I see commissions for it all the time. Yeah, I know Flight Rising you can do custom skins. It's like an overlay for your dragon. You can either do an accent, which is 40% at least 40%, or no, I think it's no, an accent is no more than 50% filled in. I believe, or no more than 50% transparency. It's like a certain percentage of the art has to be transparent, otherwise it technically counts as a skin, and then a skin is a full body covering. But it overlays your dragon, so no matter what color it is, it might look a certain way. Like, you can make your dragon look a certain way, or if you like the color of your dragon but you want the wings to look like they're, you know, covered in frost, you can do that. You can just custom accent for it. I have a couple. My dragons are all starving to death, but there's another one where you can actually make custom pets too. I don't know what website that is though. I've never really gotten into. This website's a ass with the login though. But technically he looks like that, but I got this accent for him that gives him this rune appearance on his wings. Everyone's starving to death because I ordered this site. But I don't have too many skins in my dragon. Oh, here's a good example of a skin. So this dragon has those wings normally, and I like those wings actually. I don't know why I put this there, but this skin makes her wings look like they're made out of parchment. That, and it overlays with it. It's pretty cool. Some of them are pretty funny too. People come up with some hilarious skins. Yeah, so like that skin makes your dragon look like it's made of stone. That's all it does. Same thing, different one made out of skin. That one makes it green. So that kind of thing. Made out of skin, made out of stone. The other one. I always thought that would be fun though, to work for like a pet site sort of deal. Maybe someday. Have my own pet site. Probably doesn't pay too well. Might be fun. But right now I'm doing this toy design thing until the industry collapses, and then when there's no more toys, then I'll find something else. Right now I'm going to stick with the toy company I'm with for as long as I can and try to build up a savings, so in the eventual collapse of the toy industry I will have a savings to fall back on. Yeah, sure. Have a good night. Get some sleep. Get that good sleep. Later. Glad you could stop by for a little bit. I don't think the toy industry is actually going anywhere anytime soon, though. As much as I'm joking about it now, it's gonna for a while. It's not going anywhere. I'm not that worried about it. Everybody always panics every time Toys R Us claims bankruptcy, but they literally so I'm not that worried about it. Wasn't that worried about it when I worked for Toys R Us, and I'm not that worried about it now. Solid. Solid doodad. Hey, look, a building. Pretty much. Yeah, collectors for sure. Collectors are totally a viable option. Cater to the collectors. See, things like Skylanders and the Amiibos were really successful, but even Skylanders is kind of dead now. You know, Skylanders isn't doing that well. At least as far as our marketing department seemed concerned. You know, Toys to Life is not as big as it was, but maybe there is still room for it. I mean, there was a Toys to Life, there was a Toys to Life toy recently that was like, I don't remember what system it was for, but it was like a whole action figure, and I think you used them as a controller, and it seemed like a really cool idea, and I thought it was going to do really well, and it ended up not doing that well at all, and they barely made any money, Which was kind of wild because to me the toy seemed really cool. I don't remember what it was called. Like, that's how irrelevant it ended up being. I definitely would have thought that that kind of stuff would stick around for a long time, but it's also struggling. Everything's struggling a little bit. Certainly not to say that it couldn't continue, you know, maybe there'll be like a new, especially with things like VR becoming really big, you know, maybe there'll be a VR version, you know, you scan in your character, your figure, and you can, you know, interact with them in VR. That could totally be a thing that's on its way, if that makes sense. I think it's all an evolution. I think everything is I think everything's gonna find its place in the world. You know, things are changing. Things are always changing. VR is becoming big. Who knows? You know? Fucking knows. Who would have thought the Nintendo Switch would be as popular as it is, but here we are, Nintendo Switch, you know? Nintendo Switch is a big deal, too. A lot of people really like it. And it's, of course, it's Nintendo, you know? Nintendo's always interesting to see how well it did. Toys to Life, VR chat. Yeah. I want that to happen just so I can have a Ugandan Knuckles figure. Have him show you the way. Stop sign's not here, so I can continue because he's here to get mad at me. Fucking love it. I didn't realize how much that meme was going to integrate into my normal life, and then I kept using it today. Yeah, it'd be like VR chat, but for, you know, your toys, I guess. I could see that working out for, like, you know, I don't know, like, can you imagine if you were a little kid and you went to the store and your mom bought you the new latest and greatest, you know, there's a SpongeBob figure, and you buy the SpongeBob figure and you take him home and you can hook him up to your, you know, obviously you'd have to have the money to pay for a VR headset, and this is in a, you know, this is in a far future where VR is commonplace, but, you know, you go home and play with your SpongeBob, you know, play with SpongeBob in VR, but you have a figure of him, you know? I don't know, it seems like maybe a place that toys are gonna start going. Kind of spitballing a little bit, because I don't really know anything, but... Seems like VR is where we're headed, though. It seems like VR is not going anywhere anytime soon. It seems like it's also getting pretty sophisticated. Someday I will be thin and fit, and it will be because of VR. Right now, I have zero motivation to do anything related to working out. But if I could run around in Guild Wars, heck yeah. Reminds me of Sims 3 VR, where they play for like 4 hours and then totally freak themselves out. That sounds awesome. You seen that YouTube commercial for Guild Wars streams with the orc? No. That sounds awesome, though. Oh, there was one stream a couple weeks ago where Dyer and I were talking about the what did you call it? An omni treadmill or something like that. It's like a multi-directional treadmill. That's totally gonna be the future of video games. They just need to figure out how to mass market it, because as soon as that gets mass marketed, that's gonna be a big thing. Because even current VR is kind of expensive. And it's starting to become more commonplace. People can afford a $600 setup or whatever, but it's still kind of expensive. The orc is essentially playing Guild Wars on his phone and then gets sad because he's so excited but can't share it with anyone, so he starts streaming from his phone, doing everything from exercising to taking out the trash while playing. That sounds actually really funny. I'm gonna have to look at that. But it's a commercial for Guild Wars? No, I don't even think there's orcs in Guild Wars. Apparently it's a little exercise bike, I guess. Maybe it's not Guild Wars, but still it sounds funny. Like, that sounds like a cool commercial. If you find it, link it to me, because I want to see it for sure. It'll be like a World of Warcraft or one of those, like, cell phone kind of MMO type games. There's so many of them at this point, I can't even remember half of them, but there's like a million different, like, cell phone off games. Or not even rip-off games, just cell phone MMO games. Not MMO games, whatever. There's just so many cell phone games, I'm trying to say. I'm gonna scoot this. And I'm gonna leave that triangle where it is, but I don't like this one. And I don't like that it overlaps. I don't mind that it overlaps, I just don't like where it's... I guess that can happen. I'm trying to remember now if there's orcs in Guild Wars. Video game commercials are hilarious sometimes, though. Some quality video game commercials out there, I gotta say. Building! Get in this building! Smaller. That. Doesn't need to be orcs in Guild Wars. There's some reference to them, I think, from Googling, but certainly not. No, they're definitely not a playable race. I know they have stuff like ogres and, like, trolls, but they're, like, a really specific, like, species, like, subspecies. Because Guild Wars has a lot of those. They're kind of like lesser races, and you can't play them. I don't remember there being orcs specifically, but I guess that doesn't necessarily mean they don't exist, you know? Just because I don't remember them doesn't mean that they're not there. Still interested about this commercial no matter what it's for. It sounds hilarious. Well, if you find it, I would love to see it, but if you don't find it, that's okay. Don't kill yourself. But I know that feeling. It's gonna bug you till you find it. Yeah, sign. Ugh, stretch. Hit that save key just in case. This is gonna take me 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to break this up a little bit with some commission stuff. I have another. Got lots of time to work. But, yeah, I think tomorrow's stream's gonna be all commissions, because I have a lot. I was gonna do commissions today, but I forgot to change the video title. And, I cannot find my flash drive to save my life, and I have no idea where it went, because I know I had it yesterday. But I was looking around for it, and I just couldn't find it. So, another day. The reason I was looking for it, though, is because there's one commission in particular that's actually on the flash drive, because I was taking it. And I was kind of hoping I could get that tomorrow, so. Char are 100% my favorite guild. I love them so much. Fun story about the Char and me playing a Char, actually, was that when I first got Guild Wars, and Dad and I were talking about this yesterday, I still remember, you know, first time I played Guild Wars 2. We played Guild Wars when I was, we played Guild Wars originally, and when Guild Wars 2 came out, obviously we were all about that, so we got Guild Wars 2, and when we were creating our characters, you know, my dad goes for a human. My dad's very traditional. He plays a human. Every time, always plays a human, that's his thing. So he got his human, and, and I was making a human, and I don't know, I kinda wasn't feeling it, I guess. Like, I didn't like the way the humans looked in Guild Wars 2 that much, and I was having a hard time creating a human character, so I thought I'd fiddle with the other to see what they looked like. And I was really drawn to the way the female Char looked, and so I made one I thought was kind of fun. I liked her. I made her like the smallest, teeniest little Char she could possibly be, and she's beautiful. And I made that character. I was like, okay, well, this is what we're doing now, I guess. I guess I'm playing a Char. So I started the quest, and, you know, I started the, you know, at the beginning of the game, and drops my character in, and I go to hit run, and I hit W to run forward. And almost immediately my character drops onto all fours and starts running on all fours, and I was like, that's it. This is my favorite race. Done. That, like, sold it for me. Because I was thinking, you know, I'll do the Char for a little while, see if I like the Char. I don't know if I'm gonna like him, but we'll give it a shot, you know, try something new this time. And from the moment I saw that they run on all fours, I was pleased. It's something I've never seen anything like that in a video game before. That you have an anthropomorphic or, like, non-human race that runs the way you would expect them to run. And something about that, I was just like, well, that's it. Done. I am the happiest. It might seem silly, but that one feature just made the game just immediately, and I've never wanted to play anything else ever again. I have the other races. I have one character of each race. But I've never felt the desire to play them as my main. Seen it in a certain anime? Have I seen it in a certain anime? Never seen it in a video game, though. Oh. I have seen... Hey, that animal does not run the way you picture that animal would run. Char are very fluid, and it makes sense the way they run. Also, they have floofy. I love going to the Black Citadel and just watching all the Char tails just swish. Swishing forever. Forever and ever, just always swishing. Yup. Yeah, see, no, but Incineroar does not run the way I picture Incineroar would run. Incineroar runs like a person, and I don't like it. It runs like a person trying to run like a Char, whereas the Char run in a way that makes sense. I don't know. I fell in love with it, so that's the story of how I fell in love with it, with the Char. And just everything about them. What I did to this, I don't know what I did to this wooden. It is not correct. I'm going to fix. I have one, I have one character for each, I have one character for each species, and then each one has a unique class, so I have no repeated classes yet. So far. There's a couple classes in Guild Wars I don't have, just because I don't have a character that class, or any ideas for a specific character. I'm kind of holding out on a couple in case they do end up ever giving us a new species. I don't think they will, but just in case they ever do, you know, it's there. Because I don't really feel the need to. I hardly ever play my alts, to be honest. So to have a I don't know, to like make like a Revenant, for example, because I don't have Revenant, Thief, or Elementalist, but like, I don't know, to make one of those and not have it be its own individual character, I'm never gonna play them. But anyways, point is that I like Guild Wars. I played WoW a lot before that too. A friend of mine from high school got me into WoW. Really wanted me to play with her, so she bought me the first, she bought me the, whatever, it was some kind of, it was like all the expansions up to Cataclysm. I started with Cataclysm. That was fun for a while, you know, I enjoyed that for a little bit. But then we started MMO hopping a little bit, and I kind of lost interest. A lot of other things, I guess. Because we started out with WoW, but then our server we were on, I don't think it got killed, but the people on it disappeared. You know, like the people we roleplayed with a lot kind of moved on to other things, and so there weren't as many people to do stuff with, and after a while we were like, alright, well, let's try a different. So we went to Terra. Terra was really interesting, but it was kind of a little over the top. Some cases, you know. Never really played them much for various reasons. Yeah, they're all kind of similar. Terra was okay. Terra was weird. In kind of a good way. It was different, and it was kind of fun, but it was a little bit, oh, a good way to put it. A little sexualized. They paid a lot of attention to boob physics, you know. And, you know, the animals and the creatures, and the combat was actually really fun in Terra. I really liked the combat in Terra, because you were constantly moving. Not quite the same way as Guild Wars. It was kind of a mix between Guild Wars and, It was a little bit of a mix between Guild Wars and Warcraft. Like, not quite as much movability as Guild Wars, but not as static as World of Warcraft. So it was something kind of in between, and that was kind of fun. We played Neverwinter after that, which I didn't really like that much. We did Final Fantasy for a little while, which I didn't really like that much. Whatever the Final Fantasy MMO was. And then they moved on to Elder Scrolls Online, and I played the beta and didn't really like it that much, and just never got around to getting it, like, normally. I know the beta's not, like, a good example, and it's gotten much better since the beta. I just don't care enough. The only online game I've played a lot of is probably Kingdom of Loathing. Kingdom of Loathing. Yes. I watched, what's the new one? Like, the isolated, like, game version of that. It's... Dang it. West of Loathing. West of Loathing. I watched Markiplier play West of Loathing, and that was probably one of my favorite series, but that was so fun. I would not be opposed to playing that game. I mean, I know I've kind of ruined a couple of the quirks of that game. I would not be opposed to playing it because there's so many different things you can do depending on which profession you pick. I know it plays completely differently. I know it's like the game, like the video game version of Kingdom of Loathing. It's like its own isolated thing that's just kind of vaguely based on the art style. I know it's a totally different thing. Don't get me wrong. But I know it's made by the same people. Similar humor style and things. I just thought they made me think that. That's a good one. Doing the thing. Catching the thing. Most of the video games I know of is because I watch YouTubers. I don't have a lot of time to play my own video games because I mostly want to do, like, art, and it's hard to... Obviously, you can't art and play video games at the same time, so I have to pick one, and unfortunately, art wins. So I don't have a lot of time for video games, so I do play a lot. I watch a lot of video games because that kind of gives me a way to watch my favorite video games or ones that I'm interested in but don't think I'll have time to play or might not be good enough at to play. And then I get to sort of experience the game through someone else. I also just like memes. Watching YouTubers who just get frustrated at stupid games and you don't understand why they exist because they're just so badly put together. The only reason I know anything about most video games, although YouTube's been kind of quiet lately. A lot of the content creators that I usually watch have been really quiet. Like, there was a period of time for a little while that a PokeTuber I watched would upload like 4 things a day, and now he's uploading like 1 thing, and you can totally tell there's been a drop off in content, and I'm kind of like bored with the thing he's working on. So. Oh, for Shadow of War. Gotcha. That similar genre, though. That orc's laugh, man. Yeah, that would totally be me. Just on the exercise bike, just playing games. That's pretty cool, actually. That's a fun thing. You watch really mainstream ones with many hundreds of thousands of subs, maybe it's in response to the adpocalypse. Morale seems to be down across the board among high-end content creators because of all the crazy shit YouTube last 12 months. Oh, 100%. One of my all-time favorite creators on YouTube who's not a big... She's not like a big mainstream person like a PewDiePie or a Markiplier, or a, you know... I don't know that many... I like pop... a Smosh. She's got like about a million followers, so not small but not big either. As far as some of the bigger size channels go, Manga Minx or RPG Minx, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her. I think her stuff is hysterical, but she's been having a lot of trouble with the adpocalypse stuff because all her videos keep getting demonetized because of the titles of the videos, because she likes to put really sarcastic, like, kind of nasty things in the titles, and so she's having to like censor her titles just to try to get them to not be demonetized. And so she's been doing a lot more stuff on Twitch. She does a lot of Twitch streaming now because Twitch doesn't demonetize her videos. But I noticed a lot of the smaller channels seem to be disappearing a little bit. So I think it's probably a response to everything. Did they do anything about the Logan Paul incidents? You guys even... have you even been following that? Because I wasn't really following it so much as I knew it was a thing that was happening and noticed that it was happening. But, like, did they actually even address that? Because that seemed like a big fiasco. I'm glad I'm not a YouTuber. Just... I use YouTube as an archive. I'd rather use Twitch. YouTube does not seem to be a very good place to be right now if you are a content creator. They dropped his partner status or something. I haven't been following it. I just see it pop up on every... Yeah, sometimes I see it pop up every now and then, and I'm curious about what's happening, because from a creator standpoint, it's sort of interesting to see that happening, but I'm not, like, on it for, like, drama reasons. You know, like, I haven't been watching it because, oh, what's happening with Logan Paul this week? But it's more like from a creator standpoint, you know, what happens in that situation? You know, how does YouTube respond? Not well, probably. I notice YouTube has a tendency to overreact when bad things happen. That's how the adpocalypse occurred. My favorite YouTubers, MXR, Let's Plays or mod channels, gets demonetized a lot because he includes lewd mods for humor, sarcasm purposes, but does it anyway because he likes appealing to the audience. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's... I don't know what's up with YouTube with that either. They're really big on the whole, they're like the kid-friendly thing, I guess. I don't know why it matters. Twitch is fine. Oh, YouTube. I feel like there's a lot of really good quality channels on YouTube, too. It's just like a couple bad eggs in the mix, you know? There's also far too many people, too, because, you know, it has exploded, but... There's so many people who are like me who do kind of do streaming or YouTube or whatever as kind of like a part-time thing. I know there's a lot of people do. girlfriend does the outro and she has the cutest voice. That's fun. How do that? Love it or hate it, one of my favorite channels on YouTube right now is Game Theory. I enjoy Game Theory quite a bit. Their theories are stupid. Can't be, but I enjoy them a lot. I don't know. I'm entertained. A lot of those theories are really out there, and like, you know, they're not like serious, but they're fun. You know, I love the. I don't know. I like their content. I think they have a really good level of like entertainment versus like actual research. Because I know like 80% of their theories are just kind of for fun, and the research is totally valid. They do really good research, but sometimes it still isn't like, you know, like one of my favorite things to bring up whenever I mention game theory is like the cars from the movie Cars are actually beetles. Obviously, that's not the case. You know, 100% they're just sentient cars, because that's the kind of world that, you know, Pixar created. That's just what those characters are. But it's fun to think about it, you know? It's fun to think about, what if the cars were bugs? You know? People do get too angry about it. I always feel like you have to take everything they do with a grain of salt, you know? No, the cars in Cars are not beetles, but it's fun to think about it. It's kind of funny to imagine, well, what if they were? And talk about all the things that they do that make them seem like they're bugs, or whatever else they're talking about. Sometimes the theories are really off and the research doesn't quite add up, but I think it's fun either way, you know? People do take it too serious. It's just for fun. It's just a fun YouTube channel. Although, when it comes to game theory, I don't enjoy a lot of their side content. Like, I don't like that one series where MatPat argues with a guest appearance about, like, a video game or a topic or something. I don't tend to enjoy that particular series that much. I feel like it's really aggressive. You know, they're kind of insulting one another as well, and I find it a little bit uncomfortable in a way. So I tend not to like that one. I don't remember what it's called. Something Battles or something. I don't like that series all that much, and I don't know how I feel about Gaijin Goomba. He's kind of like, just, yes, is not my thing. Like, he seems like a really good guy. I just not my, his content's not really my. They seem like really good people, though. Like, just in general, like, even outside YouTube, they seem like they're really cool. They're for entertainment, not seriousness. You can find channels for serious reviews and theories. Yeah, absolutely. There's serious channels out there for that. 100%. Has it? Microphone, what are you doing? Gotta knock that off. Alright, I'm gonna pull OBS to the front, and I'm gonna keep an eye on it, because I don't know why it would be cutting out. I have changed exactly 0 things since I've been working on this. I'm a bit confused about your perspective in one place. The notes on the left, are they in a back corner or in a front corner? Because the top of the design says back, but the overlay... Oh, I see why you're confused, and I think you'll be... Oh, well, there's a tangent. So the tangent's fucking with... This is like an overhang, and this building is pushed back in space a little bit, but I did not see this tangent here. You need to kill the tangent before anyone gets confused. Let's Murder that tangent. A gap between there. Thank you for pointing that out. Tangents will be the death of me. I think that's a little better. I didn't want the buildings to all be on the same plane because it's boring, so I pushed, that should do it. Yeah, so I pushed the bottom of this building back in space a little bit, and then, just the top of the building overhang a little bit. I don't even know if that makes sense from a design, like a architectural standpoint, but I thought it looked cool, so I did it. Alright, we're gonna take a break, stretch the hands. Hands are starting to bug me a little bit, so gotta stretch them. Always stretch your hands. Number 1, A+ tool. It's art. It's for fun. Gotta have a little fun with your art. Somebody, in case any of you guys need them, somebody posted some good, hand stretches in the art resources tag Discord, so, you know, if you ever need that, that's there. Those are really good. You should always stretch your hands. Really in love with that barrel of fruit. I'm really happy with that barrel of fruit, although I just realized that overlay. Shoot here. Oh. Fix it. Alright, we're gonna just hang back for a second. Look at that. I'm gonna let it save, finish stretching my hands, and then we'll continue onward. How's my audio been the last couple minutes, by the way? Seems you haven't said anything, so I assume it's fine, but... Try to resize that so you could look at it while I go get water, but... I will be right back in just a moment. I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna go get some water. I want to make like a half page BRB, like what Cass uses, so that you guys can still see the artwork when I walk away. So seems to cut at the end of your sentences whenever my stream cuts as well. Interesting. I might have to adjust the gain on the mic again, because I do use the noise suppression, because there is a little background sound from my computer, but I think it cuts out a lot when I turn my face away from the mic, so I'll fiddle with it later and see if I can figure out why. But I'm gonna go get some water real quick, and then I will be right back, so just give me a second, and I will be back. Oh, yep, yeah, it happens when I start trailing off my own voice, so yeah, I'm gonna have to fiddle settings, I think. Alright, be right back. I return. Alright. Hey, this is looking like a thing. This looks a little bit like some art. Kinda wild. One of those people who's very surprised when their art looks like art. Like, wow, I made a thing. Fantastic. You too, yes. Ugh. It's exciting when you make a thing and it looks like a thing. So I was gonna erase out the middle of that so that it was like here, but I think so reason number 76 why I don't like winter is because it's so hard to drink ice water when it's cold out. Like water, just cold water tastes so good when you're hot, but in the wintertime you're always fucking cold, so but I don't know, that was a random thought I had. I have ice water now and I just love ice. Cold water. Only 76. I'm not gonna lie, I already forgot where I mentioned the word 76. I don't like when it's cold. Oh, 76 reasons to hate winter. That is where I used... there's a lot more reasons probably why I hate winter. I just don't like winter. Winter's just not a good time. I know other people like winter, and I totally get the logic for liking winter. You know, I get it. You can always put more layers on, but you can't take layers off after a certain point. I get it. I do. It makes all the sense in the world. I still don't like winter. Just because I understand does not mean that I like it. I've really gotten into those little, I don't know if they have, like, an official name, but you can find them in, like, the powdered, like, with the powdered drink mixes. They're, like, little, like, bottles of, like, flavor squeeze that I just call them grape squeeze. That you just, you know, you put a couple drops in water to make it, like, have a flavor. I've been really into those lately. My dad was getting, the, Tang orange flavors, and I tried, the Kool-Aid grape flavor, and I love it. The only problem is it, like, stains the shit out of your counter if you get it on anything, but doesn't have, like, sugar. I don't know what's in it. Probably cancer, but it tastes delicious, so... Makes your water taste. I don't know what I'm doing with this boy. Art is... I should say 7,600 reasons why I don't like winter. That's up there. like this barrel up. I think I did a good job with this part. Come back to that. Not do that right now. Something else. Yo, working with perspective is it's a rough time. Definitely not easy. You definitely have to fiddle with it for a long time. I talked about this the other night when I was working on this too, but one thing I learned I kind of taught myself a little bit when working in perspective. I have a lot of trouble with perspective because when I'm placing my vanishing points, I can never get the building to look the way I wanted. Like, it's always at a bad angle or a weird angle, or it just doesn't look right, and I can never get the angle of the building I want. So what I started doing was drawing one building kind of in the perspective that I want. Even if it's not perfect, you just draw it, do the best you can, just draw it the best you can, and then put your vanishing points in and line them up with the perspective of the you know, the one you drew in, and it'll get you pretty close, and then you can correct any mistakes in your perspective as you go. You kind of have to have a basic understanding of perspective to do that, but I find it helps at least get the angle of the building you want. Because that's my biggest issue with, perspective, is getting the angle I want. We did a section on it in, like, 7th grade art. It was the best class. After that, it's been downhill. Yeah. Well, so in mine, what I did was I drew this building, and I drew, like, a really vague shape of this building. Like, I was like, okay, this is the, the side of the building, and I want it to go back in perspective like this, and I kind of just drew this part. I didn't really go up that high, but then what I did was I took my, actually here. Yeah, so I drew this one. So I drew this little building here, and I just kind of got, like, a real vague, like, okay, this is the shape I want for this building. And I kind of want the angle of the building to be like this, so you're kind of looking up at it. And then you draw, if you're doing it traditionally, you would draw from this line and from this line until they meet, and that's where your horizon line goes. What I did was I made these polygon shapes. So they're literally just a giant star with big, huge spraying marks, and lined up this line. Just dragged it around until this line was vaguely close to this, and this line was vaguely close to the bottom of the building, and that gave me this perspective for everything else in the scene. And then when I did it the other way, when I needed this for this building, I did the same thing. I just dragged this perspective. I literally copied and then used shift to drag on the same line. Dragged it on the same line to get the other direction. And you just slide it back and forth until the perspective comes out the way you want. But yeah, no, it's hard, and a lot of school classes want you to do it a really technical way. And I always found it very confusing. I still find it confusing. Sometimes I still get stuck on stuff. It's certainly not easy. It takes a very long time to get used to it. I know so many people who struggle with it. Perspective's rough, man. Just about as hard as hands. I think perspective is maybe a little bit harder than drawing hands, but hands are still pretty. feet are harder. You ever think that hands are the hardest thing you've ever drawn, look at a foot and try to draw that, and then you will realize how wrong you were about how hard, or about how hard hands are. Nothing will compare to the madness that is feet. Decent at feet, not so much at hands. Yeah, I have a really hard time with. Maybe that's just a me thing then. Maybe I just suck at feet. Feet, like them. Hard. If I can avoid drawing feet, I do. That's true. Oh yeah, paw feet are so much easier. At least hands are fun to draw because they're so expressive. Feet are just kind of there. Exactly. Feet. I feel like the hands and feet are like the two evils. No, they're like the major like bad guys. They both have reasons why they suck, but bird feet and wings. A lot of artists claim they struggle with wings. I struggle with the repetitiveness of wings. Drawing wings is a lot of drawing the same shape over and over and over and over and over again. It's like drawing hands to the max, because they're just kind of there, but because there's so many feathers. But I don't struggle with wings personally. Wings have that interesting wings have that interesting hand bone thing going on with them. For anybody, we were talking about it last night, but for anybody who wasn't here or doesn't know, dogs, cats, I think it's dogs and cats, birds, and whales, I think there's a couple other animals that have it too, but those I think were the primary three I can think of. They have the same bone structure in their legs and in their wings and in their fins as humans have in their arms. The bones are all varying sizes, so they're not all exactly the same, but the bones are all in the same spot, which I think is a really interesting phenomenon. So I don't have as much trouble with wings because of that, because if I want to draw wings, I picture them as hands. I picture them as weird long arms. Hands, feet, and the second eye, the unholy trinity of art. Divergent evolution. Yes, that is what it's called. Yeah, check that out. There you go. Yeah, so like if you're drawing dragon wings, you know, you get your on a human it would be the forearm, the upper arm, the forearm, and then the palm of the hand, and then all the fingers are just real long. They're just long human fingers. On a bird, it's very similar, and I actually use the bat wing structure when I draw wings. Instead of treating this bone as its own thing, I kind of make it like a big wedge. I don't draw whales that much, so, you know, there's whales. They exist. They're a thing, you know? But it's cool. It wasn't dogs, it was horses. I'm sorry. They all have a very similar, you know, layout. So I personally don't struggle with wings because of that, because I'm sort of familiar with that idea, but I know people who do struggle with wings and stuff like that still, so I think as far as animal things go, you know, like humans specifically, I definitely think hands, feet, and the second eye. As far as animal parts, though, you know, things people struggle with when it comes to animals, absolutely, I would say wings. Bird feet and wings, yeah, people have a hard time with that. That was the long-winded way of saying, yes, I agree with you. Bird wings are pretty tough. I see a lot of people who say they don't struggle with bird wings and then draw bird wings very badly anyway. Bird wings are weird because they don't have the same silhouette when they're folded. You know, they go from being a sort of, you know, arm-shaped object to, like, that little, you know, they go from being, like, that shape to being, like, that shape when they're folded, and it's kind of weird to think about how they fold. That's something I struggle with a lot, is making my folded wings not look like they're cheap little cartoon folded. Making them look like they're folded naturally. Yay, giant melon things. Think of it that the elbow almost flips over. Does it? Oh, yeah, I guess it does. Yeah. A little bit. Their problem with bird wings is that the feathers are placed differently on both sides. Yes, yeah, that too. They're not symmetrical on either side. Apparently there's one really large melon-looking thing in the back, so... You know, if I were Dire Crow and I had pet birds, I would definitely walk over and bother my bird right now to look at their wings. You know, if I had a pet bird, I would 100% be bothering them right now, like, let me check out your wings. How do your wings work? My bird would probably be like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't touch me. Oh, there's a big one right there, but I don't think... What? Yeah! Box! Full of fruit. Keep scrolling out just to check to make sure the line weight still makes sense. I think fish are pretty hard to draw too. They're very simple. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I've accomplished a single line stall. Accomplished a single line stall shapes for my cave market. Awesome! Oh, you should post them. Or send- I want to see them. If you're comfortable sharing them. I'm really excited to color this, to be honest. Oh, it's just a rough draft on paper. Gotcha. Well, hey, you accomplished a thing. Accomplishing a thing is good. So I had a little bit of a thought for you guys. So I'll show you what a while. Little sidetrack here. I took the old design for the sky kites, which look like that, and there were a couple things about this design that I was never really 100% happy with. The shape to me was very, like, the silhouette was a little bit boring to me. It didn't have enough of that, like, tasseled kite look that I wanted them to have, because I wanted them to look like what you think of when you think of a really fancy, like, kite. So what I did was I added some more interesting shapes. Like, I gave them these little back fins, gave them more little antenna, like, on their tail. I changed the shape of their tail. And I'm a little bit happier with the design, but I can't decide what to put on their underbelly. One thing I was thinking was that it would be cool if they had more of, like, a geometric pattern. You know, maybe something that, like, when the Jedoa see them flying over, that's, like, inspiring for them for their artwork. Because their art has a lot of, like, repeating patterns and shapes and colors and things. So, I don't know. Any thoughts on how I could integrate, like, show you the... Like, that's an example of, like, some of their patterns. Like, a lot of repeating geometric shapes. But, I don't know, like, that's kind of hard to make look natural. It's not really supposed... I mean, because it is unnatural. Butterflies, lots of butterflies have interesting spread patterns. Yeah, butterflies. Maybe I should do that. Because I don't like the underside of the... Honestly, I don't really like the undersides of them very much. I think they're kind of overcomplicated. I wish I would have done something different with them. Something reflective, like that snake that was posted on the Discord this... Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe they're, like, iridescent on the bottom. They're definitely bioluminescent on the bottom. Like, all these little white patches glow. I don't know, I was referencing some, like, fantasy sky whales and stuff for the bottom, but the flat bottom doesn't work so well for that. That works a lot better for a creature with a rounded bottom, like a whale. So, I don't know, it didn't really come out the way I wanted. Definitely if they had, like, an iridescent bottom, that would be cool. I just don't know how to get patterns like these to look natural on the underside of this. Oh. I'll check those out later. I'm not planning on doing anything with that tonight. But yeah, I'll check out butterflies and maybe think about making them a little bit shiny. And we'll see what happens from there. I was a little bit inspired by the skimmers from Guild Wars 2 as soon as I saw those. Like, they don't have exactly the shape I want. They're a little bit too, like, creepy and alien. For me to just want to copy them outright, which, again, don't copy things. But, you know, like, I wasn't, like, immediately like, oh, that's what they look like. Dang it, somebody stole my design. Or somebody, not even that they stole it, just like, oh, dang, somebody beat me to it. Somebody came up with the design before I did, kind of thing. Like, it was very much a, oh, that thing's interesting. Like, I like this aspect of them. I like this aspect of them. I think I'm going to try to incorporate things I like. If you want the Jedoa's patterns to be inspired by it, then butterflies would be better reference. Yeah, we'll do that then. Could be simplified versions of the Jedoa patterns. Maybe they just have, like, so if the pattern's like a triangle, maybe it's just a triangle pattern. And they just have, like, one big triangle on the bottom of their wings, and it's, like, designed like a butterfly wing, so it's fancy, and then they make it into a repeating pattern kind of thing, maybe? Maybe that would work. I think butterflies are a good idea. I'll check some butterflies out and, you know, maybe square off butterfly designs a little bit so they're not quite so... The first butterflies that come to mind are, like, monarchs and tiger swallowtails, and their designs are very rounded, so maybe if I take that idea and, I don't know why I made this poster so... Shapen. Yeah, okay. That's a good idea. Thank you for reminding me that butterflies exist. I'll check that out. I wasn't gonna redo the designs for the sky kites. I was gonna just leave them as they were, but then I saw that, like I said, I saw the skimmers in Guild Wars 2, and I was like, oh dang, I wish I would have done this with my specifically the back like tassel fins that the skimmers have. As soon as I saw those, I was like, I really want to have like more fins on the sky kites. You watch too many nature documentaries? There's no such thing as too many nature documentaries. I don't know what you're talking about. You can never watch too many nature documentaries. Perspective on this particular poster went entirely to hell. So did the roof, actually. What on earth was I doing with this building? I was like, fuck this building in particular. Roof would actually come down to here. But I don't want that to go up any higher. This is why you make perspective lines. I'll have to move the basket of fruit around, too. Okay. Hit that save button. More time. You're just gonna freak out about the fact that I tried to tell to do two things at once? What sucks is that anytime I put paper anywhere in the scene, I now have to, I now have to draw something on the paper. I think I will do that in the color stage, or even maybe later than that, because I have, a font, so I'll just use my font. I'm not gonna lie to you, and this might be something that I do for anything, but like, I could come up with actual writing for things, but maybe, I don't know. See, there's just part of me that's tempted to go, like, okay, well, the posters inside this guy's building, you know, what's on them? Or, like, so, like, these posted outside, maybe they're prices of things, or maybe they're advertisements for things. I could come up with actual text, or I could go through the Discord and pick some of my favorite quotes and convert them into Jedoan and then just stick them on a piece of paper and no one would know the difference. And I thought that might be kind of fun, too. So it looks like the poster says something like, you know, house giveaway, come visit me to get furniture that I don't need anymore. Or like a Craigslist sort of ad. But it actually says, like, don't let your memes be dreams. Wanted posters, of course. Maybe that could even be a contest. Maybe I could have a little contest for you guys. You could design what goes on the posters in City. And they could be like serious things, or they could be really unserious things. You know? Like, maybe there'd be a couple of them that are like a serious wanted poster, like, if you see this Veas, do not interact. But then some of them are serious, like, you know, some of them are not serious. Like, don't let your memes be dreams. I was gonna do an X on these boxes, and now I don't care, so... No cross on the boxes. Boxes are sloppy, but they're also really far back, so I think you're gonna see them that much. Not that worried about it. If I had Photoshop, I'd make a serious attempt at something, but you do not. Hey, you know what? I appreciate it. I don't know, it'd be more like, just write in what you want and I'll design the poster. Like, you don't have to design what it actually says on the poster, but, you know, if you say, I want it to say Murkrows are awesome, I will make a poster that looks like a regular, like, you know, advertisement poster, but it actually, you know, if you take that text and you translate it into English, it will say Murkrows are awesome. Like that kind of thing. You know what? I'm not going to put the lines in. I'm going to leave the boxes here. A lot of information for something that's going to be in the background. And the lines look like garbage anyway, so win-win. No garbage lines. Don't need them. I made a language for my novels that I simply refer to as demonic, and I once wrote a poem in it for the whiteboard in the gym locker room. It was a particular quote from the Divine's version of the origin story, but for this particular universe, but I wrote it out like a Bible quote. By the end of the week, there were blessings from pretty much every religion on the wall. That's awesome. How did you design that particular language? Did you go through like the whole process of creating like new words and everything? I was a lazy asshole and I used a cipher that automatically converts your shit into nonsense words. And it worked out pretty well for me, I think, but because I don't need it to be all that serious, but not yet anyway. I have not had a necessity to create my own language or whatever. I am perfectly content to just use the cipher and make it quick and easy. It's no Elvish, but it, you know, it works. I think it's pretty funny that you created a language that you refer to as demonic, that people started putting religious blessings on the wall. Top tier. A+ trolling. Working on words and whatnot, but it's based on a mix of Germanic grammar and almost Russian Arabic sounds. Oh, that's pretty cool. You are way better than I am. Languages are so hard for me. I don't know. I've tried so many times to learn Spanish, and because it's a language that I would love to be able to use in my daily life. I know a lot of, you know, I worked in a lot of jobs where speaking Spanish was really helpful, and I just can't get the hang of it. I've tried so many different methods to learn it, and I just can't do it. I don't know, it's something I've never really been good at, just in general. I took Spanish classes in high school, and I did all kinds of stuff, and I just can't quite get it. Text, I made a substitute for English, the English alphabet, mostly made out of lines and dots, designed to be written with claws or fingers instead of pens or pencils. That makes sense. Or demons and such. Jedoan's kind of like that. It's handle this. I might get 10 minutes left. Let's work on something less intensive for the next 10 minutes. That's super cool that you made your own language. Oh my god. That's like what a lot of the devs did for Skyrim's dragon writing. Yeah. Some of the dragon writing comes from Elder Furthark, the original Norse text. Interesting. Catch something for fun for 10 to 15 minutes? I could do that. Or I could just work on another part of this. I could draw that barrel, for example. Or we could do the top of this building. Let's do the top of this building. Or, better idea. Done freaking out yet. Close. Okay. Which version of Link should I do? Probably classic, one? Classic this one, Ocarina of Time, because that's the one where you get murdered by the cuckoos. There he is. That's the boy. Let's sketch that boy. And by sketch that boy, I mean I'm gonna do a real shitty sketch for like 10 minutes. Like, in the next like 5 minutes, we're gonna draw Link being stared at by Jedoa, and it's gonna be great. Smaller brush. Actually, I should do this entirely with a hard edge, without the sketch brush, because it's supposed to be fast. Watch me suck at drawing faces in profile, especially since I'm using a terrible brush for this. I'm not good at quick sketches, okay? Just put that out there. I'm not good at this kind of thing. Oh, that looks like... Alright. Let's not say we did. Get murdered by cuckoo. I think you get murdered by cuckoos and everything. Just, this is the classic. This is the one you think of when you think of... There you go. We're gonna go, like, full-on anime for this. Full-on anime, she says, as she just draws a stupid emote on the face. I'll draw like 5 of them. All in a little clump, you know, just... Oh god, how do you spell cookie? Like that, right? Yeah, there they are. Hey, Photoshop, you want to maybe come back to existence? Thanks. Except I'm gonna make them look like Jedoa. Definitely gonna go with the kind of, like, cuckoo, beak shape, though. Profile is hard, man. I have a really hard time with faces in profile, to be honest. Like, like, when I'm doing them for serious, you know? This guy's gonna have his little fists up. He's, like, ready to go. This dude here, he's ready to fight. He's got, like, a little bracer on, right? And it's got, like, a... That's what Jedoa weapons look like. This guy, he's ready to go. He's ready to punch Link. But the other guys in the back, I'm not gonna do, They're literally just gonna be, like, silhouettes. Right, this guy can have, like, a... That. And... Is there anything you think you're really good at drawing in particular? Me? Think I'm pretty alright at birds. There's a couple, like, individual things I suck at, or not even suck at, that I just have a hard time with. I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at animals, just in general. Like, anthros and stuff. There's definitely a very long list of things that are just difficult in general for everyone, but... I don't know. I guess I would probably say animals and anthros I'm pretty good at. As long as it doesn't involve doing human thing, you know? I have a plan. Do not fret. I have a plan. Oh, got your hair. Sorry. This guy looks particularly angry for some reason. Hydration. Let's make that black. I find that I am particularly good at a subject if I'm enjoying it. If I don't enjoy drawing something, it comes out looking like garbage almost every time. There's like a level of motivation there, you know? I didn't draw their eyes for a reason. Just you wait, friendos. think even cropped out, this is... I think if you even if you cropped Link out, this is still a pretty good example of Jedoa coming to ruin your day. Laser glares. Aw, yeah. Gotta get those laser eyes. First of all, that opacity needs to be higher. That one's really... Meme zone. Don't let your memes be dreams. Do not ever allow your memes to remain as dreams. Rule number 1 of the Axie Stack is now, don't let your memes be dreams. Because I'm a scrub. Can't stop touching things. I'll highlight on it. See his little blade arms. He's ready to go. And this guy's gonna thank you. Came to the wrong club, motherfucker. Could be one of the posters. Just... Actually, you know what I could do for one of the posters, actually? I could crop out... Not in a circle. Stop that. I could crop out this part and make it like a band poster kind of thing. Can you maybe be a square? Thank you. You know, and just, it'll be like a... It'll have, like, text under it. This is totally the posters now. Oh, beautiful. Alright. I'm gonna save that as a JPEG, and we're gonna stick that on the Axies. That's what I worked on today. Don't worry about it. With 3 hours, don't worry about it. Well, I leave you with that. Have you seen this link? Oh, I'm totally gonna put that. Wait. Oh god. There you go. Have you seen this link? Yeah, it absolutely took 3 hours to pixel art those eyes. I don't know. Craziest. Alright. Well, with that, I'm gonna go to bed. So, thank you for coming to hang out with me. I always love when you guys come and spend time with me. And I will see you guys tomorrow for commission stuff. We're gonna work on, something. I have three somethings to work on. So we're gonna work on one of those somethings. We have 3 of them. So, one of them I have in partial line art, and I need to find my flash drive before we can work on that one. But I'm gonna go to bed. So, I will see you guys later on. I'll see you guys around the YouTubes. The Discords. I should go to bed. It's time for bed. I'm gonna stop talking. Bye!